focus on the basics. As long as every brand has that, that journey flow, don't overthink it. I think all the brands try to jump on the latest craze, whether it be AI or augmented reality. I think a lot of consumers focus mainly on the brand and the product. And if you can deliver that seamless user flow on the website, post-purchase, return is simple. Just don't overthink all that craze.
Welcome to the Ecommerce Toolbox Expert Perspectives, a podcast by Noibu, where we explore the elite strategies and cutting-edge insights with our expert guests. Get ready to propel your e-commerce business to the next level.
Welcome to another episode of the Ecommerce Toolbox Experts Perspective. Joining us today, we have Gabriel Yanko. He's not too far away. I'm in Ottawa, Ontario. He's in Vaughan, Toronto area. So love chatting with another Canadian. Welcome, Gabriel. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Always like to learn a bit more about the guests when we first start off. So maybe talk to us a bit about your career journey so far. Currently, you are heading up e-commerce at ASICS Canada. So maybe talk to us a bit about your career journey and how you ended up there.
Yeah, so I guess to start off, years ago, I started working with a restoration company, local restoration company, managing their marketing. That's how I kind of got into site management, SEO, Google Ads. That was my introduction into that digital space and helped grow their digital marketing. From there, it led me to, I had an opportunity and was able to land a job at Adidas Group, also based in Toronto here, which oversaw the Adidas.ca website, Reebok, and TaylorMade at that time before often it got split up, but managing the site operations, e-com growth, user experience, a little bit of just from the operation side. And from there is how I kind of continue my growth in e-commerce. Had an opportunity to jump over to ASICS, been there for 7 years now, really kind of growing their e-com business. It was starting from scratch in Canada and have been there since, so growing the team and growing that whole business side.
That's really cool. So you're saying that when you joined, it was really starting from scratch. So it was almost like it was a new region for ASICS?
Yeah, so ASICS obviously has a long history with as a brand, but the Canadian e-com and DTC business was just starting out. They were primarily a wholesale business at that time. So e-com was non-existent 8 years ago. So they brought me on board to kind of build out their e-com department, their business, the website, and we've been growing it since.
Cool. How do you, for someone in a role like yours, heading up e-com in a region, how do you define success in your role? Like, what are some of the metrics, KPIs that you kind of use to guide yourself to understand that you're kind of moving the business in the right direction?
Obviously, growth is our target every year, whether it be top line or we look at AOV, average order value, units per transaction, our conversion rate, traffic. So not everything needs to grow every year. Obviously, top line is our main focus, but if we're looking at conversion rate is staying steady year over year, but our traffic is growing each year, that's obviously success that we're driving new traffic to the website, relevant traffic to the website. If traffic is staying consistent, then at least our conversion rate is growing, that we're converting more people. And if all else is staying the same, but our average order value is growing, then we know we're selling more to the same kind of people, returning customers, new customers. So we're kind of looking at the balance between each of our metrics, but ultimately growing that top line revenue growth.
Makes sense. Obviously, you've been in the game for a while now. E-com's changed a lot in the last 5-7 years. Maybe talk us through some of those bigger changes that you've seen, call it from when you first got in to now, that some people that are joining e-com today wouldn't really have that context.
I think the biggest change has been primarily driven by, the Amazons of the world and the marketplaces of the world, that people expect products at their door instantly. So constantly trying to find that balance between delivering it right away or providing satisfaction right away to consumers, whether it be at their order, they place an order and they get that product within an hour or the same day, but also on the refund side. So once people return, are they getting that return right at scan, or do they have to wait till the return gets processed and shipped that and back at the DC? So finding that balance between providing an exceptional service, but also keeping the business safe and not just returning and refunding everyone at once.
Makes sense. And like you mentioned, consumer expectations have only been going in one direction over the last 5 to 7 years. How does this intersect with like personalization, discounting, and things like that? How do you have to change some of your tactics to meet that above and beyond just straight up people are expecting it to come to their door quicker?
Especially being a footwear brand and a running brand, we try to personalize to we have a large range of products that, whether it's you're running a marathon or you're just an average runner, so we try to personalize and find that right product per customer. So we like to use a brand heritage and its expertise in the running and providing not just speed and delivery, but we're getting you the best of the best product and we're getting it to you in the right manner. So we just focus on the basics of you're going to have that best experience on the site. You're going to get that premium experience on post purchase, and hopefully that that outweighs just timing and shipping.
Obviously, collecting, gathering, sifting through data, building personas are things that are key for someone in your role. Could you maybe talk us through how you look at e-com data and balancing making data-driven decisions with also not just kind of overly relying on data? Like how do you, and I know there's no perfect answer, but maybe some of the tactics that you look at?
Yeah, so a lot of people can get bogged down into all the data and reports and trying to understand where consumers are falling off or having issues. Ultimately, I find that trying to listen to your consumers can be the best bet. So working with the CS team and seeing what customers are calling about or what issues they may have, or if they're just calling about products and what they're looking for. So listening to the consumer's actual voice and seeing what they're reaching out for can have a much larger impact than just trying to analyze a Google report or analytics report and trying to figure out, what a customer is having issues with or what are they trying to solve. So sometimes just, answering the phone can have a larger impact.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Could you maybe talk to us a bit about how mentalities have shifted? So for example, you mentioned top line growth as a key KPI. Has that shifted towards profitability over the last couple of years? Maybe walk us through that journey. We even see it from our own customer base, a lot more people focusing on profitability versus just top line growth at all costs. Maybe talk about how you guys are balancing that and what's kind of that number one North Star metric now.
Yeah, profitability is obviously super important. Obviously, how we manage our discounts and how we're promoting sales throughout the year, we're taking a second look at that. I see a lot of brands scaling back at sign up and save or those kind of discounts. So not as prevalent. We're growing our brand loyalty program. So using our brand and our consumer loyalty to more of an advantage and providing other perks and other benefits than just providing discounts. So trying to keep that bottom line healthier, that gives us more flexibility to provide better functionality and growth through the site.
I'd love to dive a bit, Gabriel, into, obviously you're at ASICS Canada. There's an HQ. I'm assuming there's other regions as well. Talk to me a bit about strategy when you're part of effectively a multi-region brand. Do you guys meet? Do you guys kind of compare notes? How does that work?
Yeah, so obviously having a global brand helps with, every region operates individually, and we are responsible for our own P&L at the end of the day, but sharing notes, whether I reach out, working closely with the US because they're the most similar market to us. We have an open line of communication, trying to figure out what works best in their market versus our market, and sharing best practices. Not everything is going to transfer to each market as it does, but at least you could kind of take, you could try out best practices that worked in the US is a little bit lower risk than trying out something just scratch So, keeping that communication, whether it be US, Europe, or even Australia, helps rather than, you're not just operating on your own.
Cool. Talk to us a bit about social. How's social commerce changed for the running game? Have you guys partnered with any kind of influencers? Maybe talk to us a bit of your thought process through that when it comes to spending marketing money.
Yeah, I think social commerce has always been a part of the e-commerce brand, whether, UGC was, or user-generated content was very large a few years ago. Still a part of a lot of marketing strategies these days. So with, TikTok and Instagram and our sports style brand, particularly, social proof and social commerce kind of play a larger fact and help drive that business. Grassroots programs in our local communities play a larger portion in the marketing as well. And just having product on feet where people can, share and talk about and see the performance that they get, whether they're, like, again, saying running the 5K or running a marathon or half a marathon, help, spread that word and spread that buzz to ultimately drive revenue.
Cool. And obviously you mentioned when you joined, it's an established brand, but D2C was newer in Canada. Mm-hmm. So obviously you have a lot of established retail partners. How are you viewing the balance between D2C and third-party retailers, channel conflict, pricing? Like how are you managing all that from your business unit standpoint?
Yeah, ultimately, we try to keep, we work with our partners and we work with other D2C, like third-party brands. We share, top down, they come with pricing, we all align pricing. So there's no unfair treatment. Our marketing team works with our e-com and our retail teams. So everyone's kind of promoting the same products and the same marketing creatives. So it's a very open communication across the board so that everyone is promoting the same kind of, it's a fair playing field across the board so that we don't have any advantages from an owned e-com business, but retail growth, whether it be owned or third party, is a vital part of the business. So we want to make sure that everyone's happy at the end of the day.
Heading into Black Friday season, if there's one major pain point that you feel like customers are experiencing, maybe not just necessarily on ASICS website, but just overall, what do you think it would be and what do you think the problem is?
It's a good question. When going into Black Friday, everyone has to, compete against marketing dollars and compete into how early they're promoting their Black Friday sales. So I think as brands kind of stick to their basics and stick to their focus of, what promotions they're kind of putting out there and keeping their site operational without overdoing it. I think that's the key to just a successful holiday period, whether they're releasing a holiday gift guide or not, just focus on, executing that game plan that they've been working at throughout the year and, adding whatever that promotion that they might add to entice the customer.
Cool. What do you wish you knew 5 years ago that you know now in your role?
Focus on the basics. As long as every brand has that, that journey flow, don't overthink it. I think all the brands try to jump on the latest craze, whether it be AI or augmented reality. I think that was the biggest one like 6 years ago. A lot of consumers focus mainly on the brand and the product. And if you can deliver that seamless user flow on the website, post-purchase, return is simple. Just don't overthink all that, craze and what else people are kind of coming out with. And we should see significant growth or stable growth.
Can you talk to us about your most successful campaign ever and maybe what it looked like and kind of, did you expect it to be that successful or how it caught you off guard?
I think certain products, when they hit the market, outperform expectations. And I think, certain products have hit our site and we've crashed just due to the volume of people are trying to tackle it and trying to get their hands on it. And you never know when that's going to kind of come next. So I think just preparing for that next drop that people just all want at once, whether it may not be a campaign, but it, for us, it's a specific product. So just getting yourself ready in the back end just for that spike in users and spike in demand can help you prepare for the future.
Love it. And as we look to wrap up, is there anything that you'd like to give kind of as broad stroke piece of advice for people that are maybe starting their career, growing their career? And curious to hear it from directly from you.
Yeah, I think always listen to the consumers. I think that's the best part is don't over trying to optimize with user experience or data. Just, have your friends and family, whether they drop the site, get your thoughts. The small things really make a bigger impact than, those large, overcomplicated changes.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Gabriel. It's been a pleasure. Really appreciate your time. And thanks for coming on the show.
The E-commerce Toolbox Expert Perspectives is brought to you by Noibu. To find out more about Noibu and how we can help you debug your e-commerce site and rocket your revenue, visit www.noibu.com. That's Noibu.com. And then make sure to search for the E-commerce Toolbox Expert Perspectives on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or anywhere else podcasts are found, and click subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes. On behalf of the team here at Noibu, thanks for listening.